First question I'm going to ask you is, what is Montessori?
So Montessori is a type of education that is focused on the developmental stages of a child. It is focused on independence and functional independence within children.
Montessori is a method of education that encompasses the whole child. We cover everything from practical life skills all the way up to division for our kindergartners and reading. It's just a different approach. It also encompasses an individual style for each child, so you're able to have an individual lesson plan for every single child in your classroom, and you're meeting them at the skill that they're ready for.
Giving them lessons that meet them where they are developmentally, and then kind of letting them fly.
And that does not mean that the child has ultimate freedom. It means freedom with responsibility.
A lesson shows the children how to use the material, and then the child is free to take the material off of the shelf.
They're allowed to have choices. They're allowed to choose what they're going to do. But the guide is going to make sure that it's appropriate for them to be working on. They're going to make sure that they're challenging themselves.
So they do have a lot of freedom, but that freedom has a lot of procedural protocol boundaries that back it up so that they know how to work together as a community.
It's within their responsibilities that they get to have that freedom.
We have built-in structures within the Montessori philosophy and within our school district to make sure that we are not letting those children fall behind and fall through the cracks. So not only am I going to make sure that I am feeding the child all of the information that they want and that they're interested in, but I also have to balance that with, oh my gosh, you know what else you need to know? And I have to make it as sparkly and sugary and fun and exciting as I can, and then they just absorb it.
Because they're invested in their own work with that intrinsic motivation, they actually want to keep challenging themselves. They find enjoyment in learning new things.
They have to have ownership. They have to have agency in their education.
We are unique because we invite our neighborhood children in. Here we're welcoming everyone. If you are going to a private Montessori school, you have a very curated population, a very curated community where people are handpicked.
Those are barriers, and we don't want barriers to education. One of my life goals is to make sure that Montessori is public and accessible to children. It's accessible in an area in Lawrence that we need it, and that's what we want.
It gives the teachers and guides and the children an opportunity to really build strong relationships. Strong relationships with your students are what changes behaviors and what changes academic performance. And so we have an opportunity to have children for 3 years. And so you build that strong relationship and you can build positive behaviors, and academic growth is through the roof. It's those teachers that you remember. It's not necessarily the projects or the papers that you write. It's the connections you make with people.
Working with the children, that's the best part, and that makes me cry. It's so cool because it works, and it works anywhere, and I've done it all over the United States. I've done it in public and I've done it in private. I raised my children in Montessori education, and what it can do to each individual and therefore community is astounding. And it is breathtaking to me still multiple decades into it. So working with the children is the best part, and seeing that progress.